It's time now for our Athlete of the Week, and it's presented by Diamond Point and Sauk Center here on Mid-Minnesota Sports. And with us right now is a Melrose tennis player. She is a senior, Elisha Engelmeyer, who is going to the state tennis tournament. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. Let's start out with, tell us about your family, okay?
Okay, my parents are Darlene and Glenn Engelmeyer, and I have three sisters, Nicole, whose last name is Ebnett now, Stacy, whose last name is Johnson, and Sarah Engelmeyer, who's a teacher at school.
Okay, very good. Other activities in school, what else do you do?
I'm involved in National Honor Society and synchronized swimming.
All right. That's sync swimming. That's big stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
How did you get going with that before we start talking about tennis?
Actually, my second choice after tennis would be swimming. So I decided that synchronized swimming would be kind of a fun, not as competitive sport, but yet it would be something I enjoy.
When you have your events or whatever you call it, your shows, you get a lot of people, don't you?
Yeah, there's a lot of people. The balcony is almost full every night.
Yeah. How did you get going with that?
I kind of just... My cousins, a couple of my cousins were in synchronized swimming, and then I had a few friends that were in it, and so I decided to try it out. And
then with tennis too, how did you get going with that? When did you start?
I started when I was about 6 years old, and I have two older sisters that play tennis, so I kind of just grew up with tennis, and it was in my family.
And as you play tennis, how much do you play during the year, especially in the summer?
During the summer, we play almost every day. We have camps almost all year until the season starts, and once it starts getting nice outside, I like to go out and play right away.
And as you grew up being a tennis player too, and now that you're a senior, who are some of the players that you looked up to where, and what did you take away from them that you can use right now?
Grace Spring, I definitely looked up to. She was a senior 2 years ago. She was a really good player, and she kind of felt like my leader. And then also my sisters, I always watched them when I was little, and so I looked up to them too.
So as you play against your sisters, how competitive does this get?
It's pretty competitive. My sister likes to hit me with the ball, but I finally am able to beat them after they've been out of high school, and I'm still playing. So,
you know, too, you have a new coach this year, Coach Froggatt. How has he been able to help you?
It's really good to have a new coach. He helps a lot with bringing in new drills, and he's really good at playing with our team. And so if we need harder shots, he can obviously hit the ball harder than we can. And so it's good to have a new person to play with and also new drills.
Can you also describe yourself as a tennis player? What do you think some of your strengths are?
One strength I think I have would be I never play the match the same way. I modify it depending on the player that I play. So sometimes I have to hit harder, or I have to hit with more spin or more angles, and so I adjust it.
I want to touch more on that too, because I think some of the players that you play against, they seem to be almost just a bang board where they're just keeping it alive. Yep. How do you handle that?
Those ones, I just block their shots and hope that they mess up, I guess, that they make the mistakes, and I just focus on getting the ball back to them.
Do you just kind of feel your way through the match then as to how aggressive you can be?
Yep, and then also my coach, he comes over to talk to us on the changeovers, and he'll kind of let me know if I should be blocking or trying to hit it harder. Now,
by blocking, do you mean going up to the net?
No, when they hit the ball really hard, I kind of, instead of swinging all the way through, I almost just block it back.
And you seem to have some long volleys back and forth, mentally. How do you stay in there?
I just have to tell myself that if I lose the point, it's going to be even harder to get back up. So I have to remember to keep trying the hardest at every shot that they hit and keep moving my feet.
As you play too in the fall, the weather conditions change constantly, it seems, especially the wind. Is the wind the toughest?
Yeah, the wind is definitely the toughest. You have to make sure, well, you switch sides too, so you have to make sure on each side which way the wind is going and make sure you're focusing on that.
And as you got older, do you feel you're better at that now?
Yeah, I feel like this year I did play the wind a little better than I have other years.
And two, playing singles. I know that sometimes when some of the players get towards the tournament time, you go doubles. Have you always just played singles?
Yeah, I'm actually not the best doubles player. I've tried to play doubles, and I'm kind of a ball hog, I would say, because I'm used to playing singles. So, yeah, it wasn't really an option for me to play doubles. I'm used to singles. So
getting back to just your game in itself, that you stay on the baseline, and when do you rush the net? How do you factor all that in?
Well, early in the match, I try to do new things and kind of see what works. And if I'm way ahead, then I'll continue to try doing new things. If I'm further behind, then I just play it more safe.
How's your serving game?
My serves are pretty good. My first serve is pretty strong when it's in. My second serve is a little weaker, but I try to put a spin on it. So
it seems that the second serve for so many players, what's the deal with that? You just want to make sure you get it in?
You want to make sure it's going in because otherwise you're giving the other player a free point.
Now you'll be playing indoors here for some of the matches, especially during the tournament time. What's the difference there than playing outside?
We actually played our sections in kind of like a bubble, so the tennis court was more like a regular tennis court, where if you played in a gym, then the ball bounces different, and I'm not quite as used to it. But so it wasn't too hard to adjust to. You just need to make sure you won't hit the ceilings and kind of the atmosphere of it.
And also, now that you're a senior, do you, as you talked about some of the older girls that you looked up to, do you kind of sense that from some of the other players too that are younger?
Yeah, I think so. There's a lot of players that ask me to hit with them at different times and to help them with different things, and I hope they look up to me.
All right. You seem to have good enthusiasm as far as tennis goes. How do you encourage some of these younger girls, or a girl that doesn't play tennis right now? What would you say to them?
Well, it's always, especially for sports, it's always really good to keep your spirits up and always hope that you're going to win and always know that there's a chance you can win, because if your mental game is on, then you'll play better.
Any thoughts about after high school?
Right now I'm thinking that I want to go to North Dakota State University for nursing, and I'm not thinking about playing tennis in college because I'm going to focus on school.
All right, very good. Well, congratulations again that you've made it to the state. As you started out this year as a senior, do you have goals? Did you talk about that and kind of look ahead down the road?
Yeah, the first place and second place for sections go to state, and last year I received fourth place, and the year before I received third. So I was really hoping I could get first or second this year. So yeah, that's what my goal was for this year.
Well, great. Good job. And you can always say you played at the state tennis tournament.
Yeah.
All right, that's special.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's Elisha Engelmeyer. She's a Melrose senior, and she plays tennis at Melrose High School. This is the Athlete of the Week, and it's presented by Diamond Point and Sauk Center here on Mid-Minnesota Sports.